It's another beautiful time to find out what's happening in the world of the arts. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Let's check out our lineup for today. Contemporary art comes into full swing at the Center for Contemporary Arts in Lagos. Crucial aspects of art comes to bear at the Quintessence Gallery as talks focus on funding, cultural rights, and what have you. We'll enjoy this and more when ArtHouse returns in a moment. Do stay with us.
Experimentation is the unparalleled freedom of whatever comes to the mind of a creative in the use of ideas and materials.
Let's begin with Archives and Memories, a group exhibition at the Center for Contemporary Art in Lagos.
Soothing tunes from these instrumentalists rent the air for this art show titled Archives and Memories in honor of the founder of the Center for Contemporary Art, late Bisi Silva.
She set up this not-for-profit for the promotion of visual art and culture in all its ramifications. That was in 2007. I know a lot about it because I was her lawyer and I registered this organization. So we've been going and going and going, and today we're so excited to launch this building. We purchased this building, we designed it, and it's on several floors. The bottom is like a restaurant, then there are 2 floors which are exhibition halls, and we have a library upstairs, and we have an artist center upstairs as well. All the artists that have been exhibited are people who exhibited in the first year of Bisi Silva setting up her curatorial practice. So what they have done is then show us the development over those many years. She ran the practice before she fell ill for about, give or take, 10 years, all right, and she's been dead for 6. So now what the artists have done is that to have done the development of their works over the past 16, 17.
We talk about art spaces in Lagos, very few, and the only one owned by government are not being properly maintained. I mean, there are all kind of crises around it, and for somebody to have dreamt of this and for the board to have come up with this, it's very fascinating for me. And then the title of the exhibition, Archives and Memories, because of the thing that she had done. If you look on the wall and see all the work that she had done, now she was just about 60 when she died. And the volume of work that she had done, how one person can be in an ecosystem and change the dynamics of everything. That's what BC represents for us.
It's been a very long journey, but it's wonderful. And it's a center that will serve so many creative people and the cultural environment.
6 proficient artists displayed their dexterity through the various media on parade, from installations to media art, sculpture, paintings and more.
Today we have some people from foreign people from Sotheby's. We have the young artists, the students, those from Yaba College of Technology, those who just love visual art, the collectors, the designers. Everyone is here today, and we're so excited that we can finally do such a big thing after the iconic BC Silva died 6 years ago. So today is 6 years since she died, and it's quite emotional for us.
The 6 female artists worked with Bissy, and she herself referenced them often when she was thinking about female artists in Nigeria. And so we have, as a center, have worked with all of the artists before. So they're not new artists, they're all artists who have shown at CCA before. For instance, the work behind me, Ngozi, her work was the last installation that Bissy did just before she passed. And so there are different moments in CCA's history and Bissy's own curatorial history that intertwines with the work that you see here today.
The artist salutes the enduring legacy of this contemporary art curator, whose videos have been called up from the archives for the viewers to appreciate all she did and stood for.
I find it very fascinating, remembering how the work started. And, you know, one of the things is that if you take a look at Taye's works, for instance, you know, I've known Taye from way back, from the very early years. And I remember that what fascinated me about Taye when I first met her was her hair. And, you know, when I looked at her work, it started out as, you know, because she's a sculptor, she started out with a sculptor on hair. And now you can see that over the past 16 years, that hair has grown until it kind of encompasses all the various things that she has done over the years, whether it's painting, whether it's film, whether it's photography, everything she's done, and she's made the hair grow, you know, to kind of symbolize those years.
The work behind me is called Residues of Past Encounters, and it's a continuation of a work I started in 2008 under the curatorial guidance of BC Silva. It generally talks about migration, displacement, loss, memory, pain, and also the need to remember those that have passed, which could be in many circumstances. It was a space for intellectual rigor, a space for very interesting experimentation. It wasn't about selling works, it was all about conceptualization. And she also had what she called the CCA newsletter, which finally evolved into ASICO, a roving educational school for emerging and established artists all over Africa.
To add to this, the images show how the passage of time actively shapes the interplay between personal and collective memory.
So I'm really happy that we're able to showcase these artists. For one, to champion female artists of Nigerian descent. And that was something that was very important for Bissy to do, to make sure that the focus was not, the lens wasn't always on male artists. So it was really about championing female artists. And what you'll notice is that they all have a unique contemporary practice. Some are working with installation, some are working with video, definitely different types of medium. Sculptural pieces, even pottery and ceramics, but definitely they've been able to utilize that in different and new ways. And I think that these ways will still inspire a new generation of artists.
What I hope is that people would reflect. You can't tell people what to think. They simply think. You can't make people's disposition in a certain way, but you can cause them to reflect. So if they do come, and experience these things, and in their own reflection, they get into their own theories of action, then they can decide what steps they want to take moving forward. Everyone has a role to play with the time that we have here.
Ndidi DK, Ngozi Omeje-Ezema, Odun Rimolade, Taye Idaho, Temitayo Ogunbiyi, and Wura Natasha Ogunji are the 6 female artists who featured in this group exhibition.
Intriguing and nostalgic array of pieces there. Taking a moment now, ArtHouse returns with more. Do stay with us.
And these are the works of art you sent in recently. Let's begin with this one called Fishmongers from Okrika. It's an oil on canvas work by Oscar Tambam. Then Mother's Advice is an acrylic and digital on canvas piece by Tomiwa Adelagun. Awaiting the other side is an acrylic and charcoal on cardboard work by Akinola Olaiton. Then Eagle is how Samuel has called this work, but he didn't state the medium. Then Babatunde Ogunade says this is a new, fresh one from his colorful palette. It's called Council of Elders, done with acrylic on canvas. Come and see, that's what Ish is telling everyone with this installation. Mark Duke says, Boys Don't Cry. It's a mixed media on canvas work. Renewed Hope is an acrylic on canvas work by Nathaniel. He said, Renewed Hope is a painting that represents a fresh sense of optimism and a promise for a better future. Then we wrap things up with this work by David called Me and Nature. It's done with oil on canvas. And that concludes the works of art you sent in recently. We really appreciate you as always for sending them in and encourage you to keep them coming.
This is a group exhibition which is telling captivating stories. It's created by 6 talented artists who have mastered their craft and share a passion for narratives through their works of art.
Here, the artists are expressing themselves or telling their stories different techniques and mediums, which say it's born out of the reality of the creative experience of this artist. And you can see that's why they have outstanding works here on display. And these are artists you should look out for in terms of technicality, the skills sets, and being very professional in what they do.
Akintomide Aluko, Funke Oladimeji, Mary Adebayo, Raji Mohammed, Opeyemi Olukotun, and Salako Olajide are the artists serving this tale in Sapience, Stories Within, an exhibition at the National Museum in Lagos.
These are artists who have at least over 15 to 20 years of experience after school. So it's just showing their journey from as young artists to where they are now.
The images on display celebrate the power of contemporary art to tell compelling stories about human existence.
This is the goose that lay the golden eggs. So it represents our parents, our mentors, our teachers in school. So we should appreciate them because they labored for us. They've done everything for us. Everything we are doing now, we cannot be the same weight of them, of what we are, the kind of things the burden we are carrying now. So the burden, they have everything. They've suffered, they've labored in one way or the other for us.
The artists talk about the inspiration behind some of their pieces.
Most times I document activities, Lagos, anywhere, any states, like I document a lot of things, places. I like to talk about the activities of human beings around me, my environment, things that happen around me, people's life, way of life, religion, and all that.
The idea of the works, my body of works here, is just like once a passerby, it's about the beggar that passes by every time. So, but in another way, I'm trying to relate it to my psychological state, how people can just pass by and then just go. So we pass in generations, just go. Humans, just basically human existence. There was a time the man stopped coming, and another set of people started passing through that space. I mean, they are all beggars, but that's like the main route to do so. Then Doubting Thomas is more of my personal experience, where I grew up in an household where I probably would doubt a lot of people. So when you tell me something, so I think that led to me having a lot of trust issues. So when you tell me something, I don't think I'll believe it straight. So it helps me control my expectation of things to come and things that are not even coming.
My artworks speak more about myself. I'm expressing female forms through adolescent age, and they are my experiences in the past. I try to paint my experiences from my experiences in the past. So majorly, my works talks about me and my experiences.
The creative experiences of each artist have been showcased in this group exhibition.
It was a day of recognition, conversations and celebration as friends of the art and culture gather at the Quintessence Gallery in Lagos to honor one of their own.
The Quintessence Gallery in Lagos is a beehive of activities as the art community gather to honor one of their own who has been given the UNESCO Defender of Cultural Rights Awards 2024 for his passion and commitment as regards arts and culture in the country.
The UNESCO award came at the end of last year, and I thought, well, all the congratulations have been done, but all of a sudden I'm being celebrated again, and I wasn't even planning this, but I was supposed to have traveled. And then they told me to just be around that. So everything that is happening here today are nothing that I was aware of. But I thank everybody, and look at the caliber of people that have turned up. And I'm really very, grateful.
The room consists of artists, collectors, creative entrepreneurs, publishers, music promoters, financial experts, culture advocates, many of whom have been impacted by this man of many parts.
One single individual being honored by the United Nations organization like that, we think is a very significant event, and we thought that we should celebrate it, but rather than celebrating it like Owambe party or something, we said, why don't we sit together and discuss, funding of culture production, funding, how you finance movies, how you finance musical productions.
Creatives keep churning out amazing pieces daily regardless of the genre. Although funding still remains a constraint, but sometimes persistence pays off.
Funding for the arts cannot be left to any one segment of society. It needs to be a combination of public funding, private funding, but also people paying to consume culture. And if those things don't work hand in hand, it will be impossible. So I don't think it rests on the private sector. I don't think it rests just on the public sector. But if we want more private sector investments, then we need to have incentives. We were talking earlier about the philanthropic capital that goes into arts and culture in the US, for example. It's because there are tax incentives and other kinds of incentives that enable that. So that might be a way for us to enable private capital in arts and culture in Nigeria by providing those incentives to private sector to make those donations and give their philanthropic money to the sector.
It's difficult for government to fund everything because there are more critical sectors. But we need to begin to grow, a pool of philanthropists, a pool of funders for the arts, people who will support the arts, who will support not just the artists doing the work, but we will not just be about buying the artwork when it is done, but we will also support the promotion of the arts. We will also support us building infrastructure for the art. We need more galleries. We need more spaces where people can exhibit their works and all that. If you count Lagos as big as it is, I don't think that you can have more than 20 established galleries. And 20 established galleries for a mega city like Lagos alone is small, not to talk about a country on its own.
For Mr. German Anikulakpo, who has been a mentor to many in his 40 years devotion to the sector, more needs to be done better to encourage the creative populace, especially with distribution of funds.
From listening to what they're saying now, especially the person who gave the keynote, Ojoma, she really broke it out that there's creative economy, there's digital economy. One can only enhance the other. So funding for the arts, there's funding in the art, as Ojoma said. The problem we have is that there are no templates to be able to manage the fund. So people are putting a lot of money. In Nigeria, there's so much money going into music, into fashion, into film, and things, but where are the instruments to ensure that it gets evenly distributed? Not even evenly, that it gets even distributed to all of us.
This event has been tagged Conversations on Art and Culture in honor of a man who has been making a difference in the industry for many years.
A tribute to our defender of the arts and culture who has been consistent over the years. Congratulations, German, a motivator to us all. And we have more to see and enjoy, but that will be on the next episode of the program.
Next week on ArtHouse. The Iwalewa Gallery in Lagos is bubbling with excitement for an exhibition tagged Dusk Till Dawn. Then to a gathering and exhibition by the Society for Art Collection in Lagos. We encourage you to keep liking, sharing, and viewing our page so more people can enjoy the ever-bubbly and ingenious art scene in the country.
Your ArtHouse experience doesn't have to end when the show is not on television. Interact with us on our various social media platforms. See any edition of ArtHouse on our website or YouTube page. Join our very interactive Facebook page by joining the group on ArtHouse on Channels. We're everywhere.
That's ArtHouse today. Thank you so much for being great company, and I look forward to interacting with you on our various social media platforms. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Have a wonderful time.